Profit is equal to revenue minus cost. I will click enter. See, now you can see the profit column here. 250 minus 150, 100. 450 minus 300, 1. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to explain the differences between the two very important concepts of Power BI, calculated columns and measures. If you are new to Power BI or struggling to decide when to use each, this video is for you. By the end, you will understand exactly what they are, how they work, and when to use them in your reports. So, what is a calculated column? Let's start with the calculated column. A calculated column is a new column that you add to your data table. It works row by row, meaning it creates a value for each row in your table. This value is stored in data model permanently, so it takes up space. For example, imagine you have a sales table with columns revenue and cost. You want to calculate profit for each sale. You can create a calculated column called profit when where the formula is simply revenue minus cost. So now for each row in your sales data, Power BI will calculate and store that profit value. What it will do? Row by row, 250 minus 150, 450 minus 300. So it will do the row by row calculation. Calculated columns are useful when you want to categorize data, create flags, or use those values in slicers and filters. Next is measure. Let's go to the measure. A measure is a calculation that happens dynamically on the fly. It's not stored in your data table but calculated based on the filter context like slicer, rows, columns, or report filters. For example, you might want to find the total sales amount, right? You can create a measure called total sales using the formula sum of revenue column. When you look at your report, this measure will calculate the total sales for whatever filter you apply, say a specific year, product, or region. Measures are great for aggregations like sum, averages, counts, and percentages. So here you can see 3020. If you create a measure sum of the revenue, the value it will give is 3020, and we can apply the slicers and we can filter that one. Here is a summary table, summary differences. Stored in the model. Yes, calculated column is stored in the model and measure is not stored in the model. And row by row calculation. Calculated column will calculate the row by row calculation, but measure is not. Dynamic with filters. Measure is dynamic with the filters. Usable in slicers. Yes, we can use calculated column in the slicer, but measure is not. Okay, so when to use like calculated column and measure, that doubt will be there, right? So use a calculated column If you need a new column with values calculated per row, for example, categorizing customers as high value or low value, use a measure when you want to aggregate or analyze data dynamically. For example, calculating total sales or averages sales per product. If you ever in doubt, measures are usually better for performance because they don't increase your data model size. Let me quickly show you the Power BI desktop. Let me pull the data. Okay. Here we can see the data. We have order ID, product category, revenue, cost, order date, and customer. Now I will add a calculated column for profit. Here we have option new column. Click on that one. Profit is equal to revenue minus cost. I will click enter. See. Now you can see the profit column here. 250 minus 150, 100. 450 minus 300, 150. 300 minus 200, 100. So this is how it will calculate the row by row calculation for calculated column. Now I will create a measure to calculate total profit. Right click here, new measure, total profit is equal to sum of sales profit. Look here, measure is created. When we create a measure, it will show in this icon. Okay, let me go to the sheets and we pull that in a table. Let me increase the size. Now I will add the slicer. I'll add category. Okay. So now when I click on the electronics, so it will show the total profit for the electronics. Now when I click on the furniture, it will show the total profit for the furniture. So whenever I click on the stationery, it will show the total profit for the stationery. Yeah, and that's it. Now you know the difference between the calculated column and measures, when to use each and how they work. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more powerful tutorials. Also check on my previous video on the basics of tax to build a strong foundation. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.